cheese making tutorials. Best practice. Speak about some notes, some advices. Clean and sanitize everything. This because of good shift. Keep an impeccable clean workspace. Cheese makers wind up in this camp, as well as it's best to embrace the cleaning and consider it part of the mediative process. Before making cheese, all equipment and surface you will work on should be washed well with warm soap water, rinsed and sanitized. This includes your stock pot and your ladle, but also your colander, cooling rack, and the countertop where you might set down your cheese former for using. Buy less more often. Buy less more often is an old adage of mine that any cheese manager have worked for me will recognize. Customer enjoy their cheese as freshly cut as possible. In terms of cheese making, mean is to buy your milk and make cheese with it as soon as possible. Take obsessive notes. You can document while making a cheese. The better your future cheese will be. Recipe and make sheet formats throughout all your work. You should take notes and write the recipe step by step. Cheese region of the world. France, global cheese capital. France is known for small format goat cheese such as button shaped crottin, Vignol. Great Britain and Ireland. There is a lot of repetition in cheese making. Repetition of technique, repetition is use, and repetition of process. As you will see once you get into the cheese making recipe, essential build of some fundamental step. Master these fundamental is the key to unlocking your creativity as cheese maker. Best practice: clean and sanitize everything. Take obsessive notes. Buy less more often. Great Britain and Ireland. Great Britain also produced some of the world's best known classic cheddar, Stellon, Greece and Holland, Italy, Mexico and Latin America, Portugal, Scandinavia, Danish Blue, Spain, the Alps, United States. Always be tasting. It's important that you test your cheese throughout the process. Cheese and science. What's happening here? Human made cheese long before we had the periodic table of element. Our understanding of the science behind natural process has come a long way. Cheese making remain the same. We transform milk into cheese through a series of steps that control its fermentation process. Here, warm the milk, culture the milk, coagulate, cut the curd, drain the curd, press the cheese, salt the cheese, dry the cheese, age the cheese. The science behind warm the cheese. Acidification occur at an optimal temperature. Culture the cheese. Acidification, the transformation of lactose into milk to lactic acid. Coagulation, enzymatic reaction, change the composition of amino acid. Casein, cut more curd surface area is exposed, causing a way to escape. Drain the curd moisture content decrease as it expels. Press the cheese, the curd moisture content decrease as it expels away. Salt the cheese, the moisture content of the cheese decrease as it expels away. Dry the cheese, the surface of the cheese continue to dry and the rain develop. Age the cheese, acidification, proteolysis and lipolysis continue. Technique. The best way to master any technique is to practice. The best way to practice as budding home cheese maker. Make cheese and make it often. This is important. Warm the milk. Fill a stock pot with however much milk you need for your cheese recipe, and place the milk filled stock in the sink. Put your thermometer into the milk and keep it there. Temperature should be from 86 to 95 range. Take your time. You should not rush when warming milk for cheese making for simple reason. Agitation, keep the milk calm and bothered, and you will be rewarded with more complex flavored cheese. Add culture and coagulate. Most of the recipe in the book. Add culture, calcium chloride, to the warm milk first and then add rennet. If you are using freeze dried powder, it's best practice to sprinkle them onto the milk. Let them to hydrate. Mixing the up and down motion. In many recipe I mention mixing in culture and rennet using an up and down motion. Degree angle, slicing across through the bottom. Cutting the curd. Knowing when the curd is ready. One, since you will develop over the course of your cheese making attempt, is known when the curd is ready to ladle or cut. Simplest way to check it is to drag and stem of your thermometer through the top of the curd for an inch or two. Ladling, when making more delicate, fresh and soft ribbon cheese, you ladle the curd directly onto the cheese. The straight and angle technique. Once your curd is formed, it will essentially be the shape of your stock pot. Will you cut it? The first two steps of this curd cutting technique are to cut slices of the cylinder perpendicular to one another. Press the knife straight down through the depths of the curd, so that the dull side of the knife is along the side of the pot. Then pull the sharp edge of the knife to the opposite side of the pot in a straight line. Repeat the challenge for the home cheese making is cutting not just vertically through the cylinder from top to bottom, but horizontal as well as that of bottom half of the curved cylinder is also cut. Press the knife straight down to the depth of the curd is a straight and angle technique. A warning: as you cut the curd, it will move. It's floating in way. After all, you will get a feel for it after some practice. Cut the curd. Know when the curd is ready. One sense will deepen over the course. Drain the curd. Here, repeat the same series of cuts. Insert your knife into the cut from step 1 to 2, then cut along the line. Drain the curd. Depending on the type of cheese you are making, you will drain the curd in one or two ways. You will choose form to drain most semi-firm and hard cheese. The curd, whether drainage in forms or in cheesecloths lined colander. Don't leave cooking rack. Sit over a baking sheet. Pay attention to airflow in the room where you are draining. Airflow. Freeing the curd from its form. Knowing when to free your cheese from its drainage. For what to do with leftover whey. To get the most value out of your cheese making, try not to discard any byproduct. The main byproduct of cheese is whey, so if you can find ways to use your whey, you will get much more distant from your make. Press the cheese. You should follow specific schedule for press timing when you press your cheese. That said, in cheese making, I believe natural instinct should override written this direction when necessary. The goal: pressing the cheese are to expel whey and knight the curd together. Observe this cheese process as you increase or decrease pressure on your cheese. You might not need to more incrementally increase the pressure next time. Absence the technical pH or titratable acidity measurement that professional cheesemakers often rely on, slide the form with cheesecloths when pressing under a weight. The cloths help keep the rind from breaking open. Drain the curd. Depending on the type of cheese you are making, you will drain the curd in one of two ways: over cheesecloths lined colander, or in form. For most soft and spreadable cheese, line a colander with cheesecloths and place the colander in a bowl or in a sink so that the whey has somewhere to go it drain. You will use form of drain most semi-firm and hard cheese as well as some soft cheese. Set a cooling rack over a baking sheet and place the cheese form on top of the cooking rack. Don't leave a cooking rack sit over. General troubleshooting guidelines. Curd through trouble. No curd formation. Weak curd take too long to form. Possible cause: the ionic calcium level in the milk is too low. Here, mystery, fungi, mucor, mold create a fuzzy grayish layer on the cheese rind. Possible cause the moisture content is too high. Pink color develop inside the blue cheese. Also cause yeast contain the bursting holes. Blue mold develop on the end of the soft wrapped cheese. Possible cause there are blue mold spore in your aging environment. Wrinkle, thick, loose rind. Possible cause there is too much geotrichum yeast like mold growth. Salt content is too high, or the aging temperature is too high. Rind trouble. Rind gives a ammoniated aroma, which will cause the cheese has aged too long, as being wrapped, stored environment without enough airflow. Crack the rind. The possible cause the salt content is too high, the drying airflow is too rigorous. Off flavor, bitter taste. The possible cause the salt content is too low, you add too much calcium chloride. Storage. Packaging cheese can be an art from quick alteration solution. Whole wheat once your cheese making process is complete. It's best to store your cheese in your home refrigerator until you are ready to enjoy it. Fresh cheese can be stored in a airtight container, but cheese that have aged for 2 to 8 weeks are delicate and should ideally be wrapped in cheese paper for storage. Cut pieces. When the cheese is cut, store it wrapped snuggled in either cheese paper or the wax paper and the plastic wrap combination. Never forget that you are in race against time once you have cut open a wheel of cheese.